Corporation, and I've got 12 minutes, so this will be pretty quick. We have a number of systems on the floor in a number of different vendors this afternoon, so you can ask questions, see things for real after my presentation. So what I'm going to cover very quickly in the next 12 minutes, 11 minutes now, is what's new from Z Corporation. We're really going to cover three things: the Z Printer 150 and 250, which are two new platforms that were introduced this summer, and it's an extension of our Z Printer line. Also going to talk about the Z Builder Ultra, which is a new rapid prototyping system that we launched back in May. And then for the scanning people out there who are interested in scanning, also talk about an upgrade to the software, Zscan 5.0, which actually just came out last week. So for people who are familiar with the Z Printer technology, we have a number of platforms we've been selling for about the last 10 years. And so what's different about the 150 and 250 is a much smaller package, much lower price point. And the point is we're offering business quality 3D printing technology for businesses, for product development organizations, for schools, for architects, for a whole range of applications where people are really looking for all the performance that they're used to with Z Corporation, but with a lot of the convenience and cost that's new to the market. We have two new platforms, the 150 and the 250. One is monochrome and one's full color. And really, the things in this technology that we're known for: lower cost, speed, and again, business quality models. So some specs on the 150 and 250. The DPI printing resolution are both 300 by 450. The 150 is a monochrome only printer to print white models. The 250 is full color, and I'll explain a little bit of the difference in the 250 versus some of our other platforms. We're calling it spot color. A lot of the automation that people are used to with the 450 and the 650 platforms. You can see the build sizes there, a little bit smaller than some of the other technologies that we offer. Layer thickness, typically people only print at about 4/1000ths of an inch. And again, the materials that we use is a plaster composite called ZP150, and that's a new material that came out about a year ago. So there's some advances with that technology if you've been following us for the last couple of years. Again, the key things about Z Printer technology: low operating cost. It's really the lowest operating cost out there on the market. We're using a plaster composite. Really no waste. We're recycling anything that's not used. It goes back into the machine for future use. We have a process now called water cure. So with the ZP150 material, you can actually further cure the parts with water. So for a lot of applications, that's useful, especially in the education market. And then easy to maintain. We're using off-the-shelf print heads from Hewlett-Packard. It's a modular design. A lot of it's automated for office use. Let's talk a little bit about using the technology and the cost of the models. Again, Z Corp technology is the lowest cost in the market. You can see the range there for the cost per cubic inch or the cost per cubic centimeter. Our whole philosophy is people are investing in technologies. They're spending 10, 20, 30, 40, 50,000 pounds for a piece of equipment. If the cost to operate that equipment in your office is too high, you won't use it. So you want to feel like you have the freedom to print on demand, to print whenever you need a model. So here you get a sense for what the cost of a model is to produce on an ongoing basis. We've, over the years, developed our technology to become more office friendly. So small footprint, a lot of automated loading in terms of the binder, what we call the binder, but it's very much the ink in the process, an automated way to fill the machine, an automated way to take powder and recycle it throughout the process. That's been all built into the 150 and the 250. Again, ease of use, a lot of things right on the machine itself. We're trying to make it intuitive. We also understand that in a lot of organizations you have a dedicated user who's using the equipment all the time, and so they know all the different tricks about using a machine. What we also recognize in organizations is sometimes there's very infrequent use. So a user may use it 1 week and come back 2 or 3 weeks later, and they forget. And so we build a lot of these intuitive operations on the machine because we understand that that's a pretty normal use pattern for our customers. Print speed. Z Corp is known for print speed. So being able to print a handheld model in a couple hours, 1 to 2 hours, versus overnight, we think that's a significant benefit for two reasons, really. One is you want to be able to get the model in an hour or 2 hours, and that adds a lot of value in organizations. And then also throughput. So if you a A lot of organizations don't have one engineer or one student for their 3D printer. They have 5 or 10 or 20 or 30 people using that technology. And if you want all 5 or 10 or 20 of those users to be able to get a model, you need capacity. And you need throughput. So the 150 and 250 continue to bring that speed of operation that we're known for in some of our other platforms. Again, business quality prototypes. One of the larger trends in this industry especially in the last 1 to 2 years, is prices are coming down. Prices are coming down from historically what they're $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 down below $20,000. And so we see that as an important trend. We've brought prices down on our technology, but we also see that our customers are not willing to compromise on the quality of the part that they want. They like lower prices, but they still want the best part that they can get. And you get that with the 150 and 250, what we call business class quality. We'll talk a little bit about color. So what we've done on the Z-Printer 250 is we offer what's called spot color. It's a little bit different than on our other platforms, the higher end 450 and the 650. We offer 64 unique colors, bold colors, white and black, and based on what's on your computer screen, the printer will snap, we call snap, to the next closest color. So for a lot of applications, that's suitable. If you're moving to, it's a little bit of an example of what we're talking about, 64 different colors that you can achieve on the 250. If you're looking for the difference between the 250, trying to understand the difference between the 250 and some of our higher end technologies, this is a good illustration. So on the 250, we offer 64 unique colors. With the 450 and the 650, a much wider range, a much wider color gamut. For a lot of applications where you're just doing spot color on assemblies, the 250 is going to be able to be suitable for what you need. For more advanced applications where you're doing texture maps or gradients of color across the part, typically the 450 or the 650 are what you're going to need for those applications. A little sense for price point. I won't get into this, but you can see the price points for both the 150 and the 250. And then again, here's our range of the Z-Printer products. From the 150 to the 250, 350 is a monochrome, more automated technology. The 450 is a full color, more automated technology. And then our high end, which is the 650, which is much higher resolution, bolder colors, and more automation. Move on to the next thing. The next thing that's new is back in May, Z-Corp started offering a product called the Z-Builder Ultra. And what's unique about the Z-Builder Ultra is bringing high-end rapid prototyping technology, the things that people are used to with SLA or other high-end technologies, down to a lower price point. And so Z-Builder works very much in a similar way to stereolithography. You're using a photopolymer resin, and you're using light to be able to cure the parts. In this case, we're using DLP technology versus a laser. We're controlling very accurately each voxel, each three-dimensional pixel, to be able to control the resolution and the curing of the part as the process proceeds. And what we're getting is very much plastic-like parts. And so we see this as certainly a need in the marketplace, and I'll talk about it. I'll talk about the Z-Builder versus the Z-Printer technologies in a few more slides, so people get a sense for how people are making choices. Get a sense for the specs here. You know, all features, when we're talking about dimensional accuracy, plus or minus 0.2 millimeters. We're using, again, precision optics and motion systems for repeatability. What's nice about the Z-Builder Ultra technology in terms of control is the only thing that's really moving is the Z-axis. So nothing else is moving in the machine. So be able to get very high precision, maintain that, calibrate that well. Again, some specs on the Z-Builder Ultra. Building functional parts, building plastic-type prototypes, and to be able to use those in a useful way in your process, you need the material properties. So you need both the flexural strength, you need the strain in the plastic material, and the Z-Builder Ultra is able to offer that. When we talk about feature size, so a lot of times when we talk about dimensional accuracy and precision, we're also talking about feature size and detail. And what level of detail can you actually achieve with these technologies? And with the Ultra, you can get all the way down to 138 micron feature size. And so it's a nice balance between plastic properties, dimensional accuracy, and feature size. Smooth surface finish. For a lot of companies, that's a requirement for what they want in their prototypes. And using this process, very smooth surface finish, very much looks like a plastic prototype. or plastic part, a plastic injection molded part for use in your process. A couple slides here to talk about how people are making choices. So we have the Z printer and the Z builder. And so this is the range of technologies that Z Corporation offers. And I'll give you some examples of how people are making choices. So if you're looking for, again, high strength and high stiffness in terms of material properties, the Z printer is very much the choice and when people are making those choices. If you're looking for high strength but also flex, more like plastic, you'd be looking at the Z builder. If you're looking at part thickness, the Z printer is fantastic for bulky parts. You get the part strength, you get the speed, you get the cost, you get the color. You can see the size of the parts that it's very good for. If you're looking for thin wall plastic-like parts, the Z builder is a nice thing. Full color, the Z printer. If you're looking for monochrome engineering type prototypes, the Z builder. When you're looking at cost, the Z printer typically is much less expensive to operate. So you're talking in pounds between 150 and 3 pounds per cubic inch, and then you get up to the Z builder, it's about 2 or 3 times the cost of operation in terms of material. And then throughput. The Z printer is the fastest machine in the world. 5 to 10 models per day. You can nest the parts on one axis, but with a powder-based technology, you can also stack this way because you don't really have support structures to deal with. So you have not only the absolute speed, but the throughput and the capacity to do a lot of parts at once. The Z builder is also quite fast relative to other technologies that are similar to it. You can nest parts, and you're doing somewhere between 0.3 to 0.4 inches in the vertical per hour. Last thing I'll talk about is scanning. So Z Corporation also offers a line of scanners. It's called the Z Scanner line. They're portable, handheld, laser-based scanners. And we've been offering those products since 2006. There's actually 5 different models: the 600, the 700, the 700CX, which is a color-based scanner. There's also the 800 higher resolution scanner, and then a product called the PX, which uses photogrammetry for very large parts. And just this last week, we came up with another software upgrade called Z-Scan 5.0. Some other nice enhancements. You no longer have to worry about the scanning volume. In some cases, in the past, you've had to readjust and recalibrate your scanner based on the volume that you're working with. Automated hole filling. With any scanning process, you're collecting data, and then you have to process that data after the fact. And we have a nice feature now of automated hole filling that also, what it'll do is it'll look for the surrounding geometry in terms of texture, and it'll replicate that texture. Because in past versions of this technology, it would only fill the hole, but if the surrounding geometry had a different texture, it wouldn't match. And so what it's doing now is it's looking for the texture surrounding the hole, and it's filling with the appropriate texture. And then merging data from separate sessions. If you know scanning well, often you're taking scans of different parts of a part, and you have to merge that together. When you're doing it in one session, it's relatively easy to do. In the past, if you were doing it at different sessions, let's say I was scanning today, and then I'm scanning tomorrow, and then merging those sections together, it was pretty difficult to do. This Z-Scan 5.0 deals with that quite well. So I wonder if I did that in about 12 minutes. So we won't have questions here, but again, we're right in the front. Z-Corp's right in the front, and we have a 450 and a Z builder. And then there's a few other booths, a company called CDG, which is one of our partners, and a company called MCO, which is one of our partners, and a company called Z Solutions, which is one of our partners, have a range of these technologies. Everything I've talked about today is here on the floor. Feel free to go over, ask questions, pick up parts, look inside the machines, and experience what we're offering. Thank you.